So I would want to ask you that right now we have lockdown here in Delhi, and you have to go to the office, being the minister for the environment, and I think everyone has to go to the office. But you are going to the office in your motorbike, which is very unlikely of a minister, because we've never seen ministers being uber cool. So is this new age politics?
Well, I really don't think that much, Manav. I'm just doing what is correct because, see, since 2 3 days, I wouldn't have been live on Instagram now if there was any such chance that people can catch some kind of a flu. I'm not saying corona, flu, or because sneezing or having a running nose, having a cold is contagious, with or without corona. So I am having that for the last 2 days. I've got really running nose. Don't be scared of me. I probably don't have corona, but I have a running nose. I've got a little bit of pain in my throat, and therefore, the people who are sitting with me inside the car normally. I was driving the car myself for the last 2 days, but then I realized that once I drive the car, I'm sitting in the car where my daughter sits at time, the other staff sits at time. So I thought the best way to keep the is to isolate myself. So I am into self isolation and I'm enjoying the liberation that you enjoy when you're on a bike. And this particular
True.
bike is designed by me, even the logo on it is handwritten by me. So I love doing that, and I'm really not thinking about ministers not driving bikes and stuff. I think it's cool, right? If someone catches me on road, wants to
Yeah.
see my driving license, and I show it to them calmly, and then they realize that this is a minister from the union government. So what? No VVIP culture, as our honorable prime minister says. So no red light, no jumping of red lights because my bike doesn't have a flag on it, so no one knows this is like our cars have. So no
True.
VVIP treatment to myself. I've self isolated myself and I'm enjoying it. So
Like
I'm
you
having a
always
cake and
said, you're a singer at heart.
I'm a singer at heart. The important thing what you said is that I do have a heart, because a lot of people think politicians do not have one.
But I think you've proved that on many occasions, so that won't apply to you.
Thank you. You have to be nice to your guest.
So today you're a minister, but your journey of hard work has started way back when you got onto a train to go to Bombay. But why did you choose music as a career?
See, there was a time in my life, I would say when I was 15, 16, when I had to decide whether I wanted to be a cricketer or I wanted to be a singer, because I am a huge Sunil Gavaskar fan, and I loved playing cricket. I've shifted a little towards football now, but I felt that I used to do my coaching in Don Bosco School where I started, but then I used to wake up very early to go for the coaching and all of that. And then it was a question that I'm sure all teenagers go through at certain point in their life. There is nothing wrong about it. Whether they want to decide whether they want to be the next Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, and the next the Prime Minister of India. They want to go to space. They want to they want to be a shooter. They want to win Olympic medals. So so they have to answer those questions inside of yourself. So at that point of time, I kind of felt that my natural ability to sing was probably better than my natural ability to play cricket. It so happens that maybe I had taken the right decision. So had I chosen cricket, I don't know what would have happened, but uh, banking was definitely not something that I wanted to do, counting others' money. So I chose to count my own money, make my own money in Bombay, and then when you luck is what happens when opportunity meets preparation, and this is something that I really really tell youngsters, that you can't be lucky. You just have to be prepared for a situation that happens to you, because every situation, every idea is a ray of light. So write it down in your diary. You never know, that might someday just help you.
I surely will, very rightfully said. And I think you were also working in Bombay, and while working, you mentioned in many interviews that there were a lot of struggling people around you, and they were doing the same thing you were. They were wanting to become successful in the industry. So, what really gave you the confidence that you had that cutting edge over them?
Well, you see, I used to read a lot. See, the most important thing in life, whether you are in your teenage or you are old, like me or your dad, we are of the same age. So whether you're old or whether you are young, the thing is to keep yourself motivated. Like you see the read the interviews of great sports person and all of that. They all talk about whether they can still motivate themselves to get up in the morning and practice, whether it's Tendulkar, Gavaskar, or it was whether it's Federer right now. So you have to keep yourself motivated in all ages, because challenges and opportunities come to you. It does not come at a particular age, or it does not choose a age when it comes to you. So I read a book by Napoleon Bonaparte. Not that he was a very popular person, but he said there was one line of his which said that confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. So I felt that it can't be only confidence; it had to be overconfidence, because the people around me, the youngsters around me, they were all super confident, and a couple of them have somehow they have made some livelihood for them in serials or in something, but most of them have perished. But I've seen them pursue their dreams till late in their lives, because you never know, you might get successful when you're 45. You might end up getting your dream role or your dream song when you're when you're 45, 46. So there is no such end to a struggle. But yes, when everyone spoke about it, everyone had a story. Everyone said that they were very sure that they are going to be in so and so's next film, so and so's next film. They're going to direct that and all of that. I used to really question myself that what makes me different from them, that they are going to stay where they are and I'm going to be a star. So those questions are something that you have to answer for yourself. One, and two rather, and it is very interesting that the place where I stayed in a balcony, actual a balcony with the tarpaulin that you have to distribute, or your dad has to distribute during rainy seasons in small to poor people who are not that privileged and all that. So I actually had tarpaulin on my balcony. I did not carry any money that I've earned in the bank in Kolkata, or take it took anything from my dad. So that place is called. It's just opposite the club in Bombay. It's a very famous posh club per se, as they say. So opposite to the club, and it's the employees of the State Insurance Corporation Nagar, ESIC Nagar, ESIC. So
Yeah,
because the strugglers stayed there for many years and never
yeah.
let go of their dreams, it was called Experienced Strugglers of the Indian Cinema Nagar. Experienced strugglers, because there were actually strugglers who were there for 6, 7, 10 years. They stayed in the same balcony,
Yeah.
they ate on the road, streets, but yet they never let go of their problems. So I never believed in glorifying the struggle. It's important to go through
Yes.
it, and I'm happy that I did have the patience to go through it, and you know. So I don't glorify sleeping in benches without food, and not having phones to call your daddy, or not having money to take an auto to a place, or you have to walk in the rain or in the sun. Those are all part of your life. You have to enjoy it.
I think that is your humbleness that is speaking, but everyone that reaches a place like you have goes through these struggles, and you fought it out, being the strong and positive person that you are, and still being positive today by not glorifying it just speaks of your humbleness.
See, your father was always aiming the bullseye, right?
Yeah.
And I was aiming for. I had a dream in my eye, so I was aiming for Babul's eye. He was aiming the bullseye, and this is the Babul's eye. It's a very bad joke, but I know that worse jokes go around and come around in Instagram with youngsters. So I just
Yeah.
risked cracking one of them.
So, one of the interviews that I was watching of yours while I was researching, I came across a really funny incident that happened in your career. So, I wanted to really ask you that after you became a successful singer, the music director that was in the washroom for 6 months, did he finally come out?
Well, when during the times when there were no mobile phones, now you at least know that you have sent a text message or a WhatsApp to someone, and it at least shows delivered, even if the person has kept the read notification, even if
Yes.
that they have kept that off, you at least
Yes.
know it is delivered. So
Yes.
sometime the person has read it. On WhatsApp, yes, you will see the blue ticks.
Yes.
Most people keep it on because otherwise they don't know if the others have read their messages. You'll see the blue
Yes.
tick. There is a way where you can reach the person, and if you send a small message, the person on the other side is going to read the message, and maybe on the first, when he's reading the first line, he's irritated, but by the last line he might be convinced, okay, let's call this guy and listen to what he has, or let's see what he has to offer. Then
Yes.
not only did the music directors and famous people directors, they took bath, went to the toilet for 6 7 8 months, never came out, but there was no way where you could get into a conversation with them, because the moment
Yeah.
you started talking, someone would say that they would say that हम 3 4 महीने तक बहुत busy है, तो अब 6 7 महीने के बाद phone करना. You understand, na? They're very busy
Yeah.
for 3 4 months, so call after 6 7 months. So that was a huge struggle. In front of Racing Nagar, there was an auntie called, we used to call her Khan auntie. She used to prepare food in the evening, and we used to buy food from her, all strugglers, rotis, and one roti was 1 rupee. If you paid 100 rupees in advance, then every month you would get 110 rotis. The 10 rotis were the interest for paying in
Okay.
advance. So these are all funny incidents. I'm not,
Yeah.
So Khan auntie ke ghar pe there was a pay phone, red color. So the rule was
Yeah.
all strugglers stood in line. I'm talking about 92, 93, when I was just
Yeah.
21, 22. And you were allowed to make only 2 calls, provided
Okay.
the first call was not more than 3 minutes, because that was the limit.
All right.
Then you have to put
All
the
right.
other coin. So if the first call is 3 minutes, you don't get a chance to make the second call. So you can
Yeah.
make maximum 2 calls within the 3 minutes. And if you finish that, you have to again go and stand in the line at the back. So we did that for years, and we did it so happily. We were standing in the line,
So I
used to
think the
chat, crack
circle would be
jokes.
never ending because so many times, like you mentioned, your calls weren't picked, so you would go back to the line then.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it is. And while going back and new strugglers who have arrived from different parts of the country and what they had in mind, you got to know people. So it was nice. We see, it's not only about the enjoyment of reaching. If you're climbing something, reaching the top of the hill, you have to also enjoy
Yeah.
the journey, because that's what makes the top very, very, very satisfying. So
True.
uh, your father is a Olympic medalist. They say in Buddhism, in Chinese, there is a saying that in Buddhism rather, one hit on the bullseye is the result of 99 misses. So you have to actually be prepared mentally that you are going to go through that 99 misses, and then uh, probably hit the bullseye, but not in the misses Instagram sense of the term. I'm talking about hits and misses. So my
So
daughter is already SMSing
with
me.
all this
Daughter is
with all this struggle, what was your first taste of success?
First taste of success was the world tour with Amitabh Bachchan in 1993. Amit Saab, I didn't even have I just made my passport, got a scold from my daddy for paying bribe of 200 rupees in Calcutta. On Brabon Road, that's where the passport office was. It's still there, I believe. So you had to spend money under the table to get your passport done. So before coming to Bombay, I wanted the passport with me. So I got it done, paying 200 rupees to a broker or whatever it is. That crime is now 30 years old, so no arrest will be done now. So I'm safe, yeah. So I got a scold for wasting those 300 rupees to get the passport done. But then standing on that same line,
Yeah.
on the same line, I called, I called Kalyanji Anandji's son, Rameshji. He just passed away sadly some time back. And he told me, कि आपके पास passport है? I said, हाँ है sir. So, my heart already started beating, because then I had never gone to a foreign country. Like a normal guy from Kolkata, where will you go to a foreign country? Maybe Bangladesh, or what else?
Yeah.
So he said, do you have a passport? I said, yes, I do. Well, jaldi aa jaiye. You have been chosen to tour with Amitabh Bachchan, Sridevi and Anil Kapoor in the world tour of Amitabh Bachchan in 1993. So that was the first time I went to a foreign country, and it was America. So, you know, uh, the tour was fantastic. But what I remember was that it's again, you tour America, Canada, you perform in the best of stadiums, the Sky Dome in Toronto, to the Madison Square Garden in New York. Then you perform
Yes.
at the Shrine in Los Angeles. Go to the best of places, UCLA in Los Angeles. Then what is the stadium? Giant Stadium in New Jersey. Uh,
Yeah.
do all of that, and then you suddenly the tour finishes after 40 days, and you land in Bombay Airport with a new Samsonite that you bought there, and then
Yeah.
you take an auto and go back to that same balcony.
Hmm.
So that's how, ups and downs that happens in life, and I enjoyed every part of it, from seven-star hotels to the balcony again, the dirty toilets and all of that.
True.
So that was my first break, and then I am really thankful to Kalyanji Anandji for considering me. And thereafter, Rishi Kapoor just died. My first song was for Rishi Kapoor, Zindagi Char Din Ki Naruto Sanam in 1994. And
Yeah.
during the same time, I sang another song, Aaj Meri Zindagi Mein Pehli Pehli. You were not born then. Mera Pagal Dil Hua Bekarar, for Akshay. That was a hit. But then I would say I got recognized with सात रंग के सपने आती है तो चल तू मेरे साथ में ले ले साथिया हाथों को हाथ में. That's Arvind Swami of Roja
Yeah.
and Jui Chawla. And then this it's very sad that Wajid, the Sajid Wajid pair, the famous composer duo. Wajid is only 43, a very dear friend of mine from those years. He just died. I sang for Salman Khan. My first song was Salman Khan. Hata Sawan Ki Ghata. People from Bombay must have been singing that yesterday when they were expecting that, Nisarg and all that. Hata
Yeah.
Sawan Ki Ghata. Hey! That came, and then thereafter, immediately Kahuna Pyara happened.
In 1999, you sung a song for the movie Kaho Na Pyar Hai, which was a super hit. I think everyone in the country was humming that song, Dil Ne Dil Ko Pukara. How was this experience of yours?
Well, obviously, it was a great experience, but I'll tell you how the mind works. When you go to the studio to sing the song, during the rehearsal phase, Rajesh Roshan ji, Rakesh Roshan ji are very meticulous people. So
Yeah.
they had me rehearse at their studio, at their sitting room in Bandra on Linking Road, just opposite to where the famous Prime's focus studio used to be. And in the same lane, there was also the sitting room of R.D. Burman. He used to. He has a sitting room there. So the corner building was Rajesh Roshan's, and Hrithik used to come at some point, at some times for the rehearsal and all that, but never had an idea that in like 2 months things are going to be. We are going to see one of the biggest superstars of India, and he was right there. You could see how he made his body and all, he built his body and all of that. And before the song that I sang, Siddharauki Mein Feel, was shot, he had asked me to come for the shooting in Film City. So I had gone there at late in the night and saw a stadium which was made, a set which was made, and I suddenly saw him, and Farah Khan was the dance director of the song.
Yeah.
So there were many. You see those guys as judges in many shows now, like Geeta, Pappu Malu, and all of that. But they were all assistants of Farah Khan then. So they were the ones, and Hrithik looked very lean then. So I asked him what happened. So he said he had to shed 8 kilos of weight for that dance number, because he had to dance and do all of that. So he had to shed all the muscle, 8 kilos of weight. And I watched for the entire night the shooting and all that. And in the recording when I went before that, you enter the studio, you see Rakesh Roshan, Rajesh Roshan, you see other famous people, because it was the launch of the film. So many people there. When you enter the studio, and this is the mic, like the mobile is right in front of me. So your mind is seeing all of that. Your eyes are seeing all of that. So it takes a lot of time for you to concentrate and then your world becomes smaller, and you're only seeing the mic. But it did not happen then when I sang Kavana Pere. It did not happen then. It took 1 year of practice, and also, I needed a few hits, success, to have that confidence where you did not get, overwhelmed or what should I say, intimidated by the great big stars, who were there in the room while you're singing, like whom you saw in Calcutta in a long distance in shows and all of that. So then it all composes, and then you can only see the mic, and you get the concentration of the mind, and then you can sing. So it was a great experience, like all song, but I put it all together in a nutshell so that you don't ask me about
a
other
lot of
songs.
people are mentioning Kirti, Yashraj, and everyone wants to hear you sing the song, and if you're willing to.
Yeah, no problem. Previously, I used to charge to sing. Now I am buy one get one free. If you interview me as a minister, you get the songs free. If you interview me as a singer, you get some answers on climate change, forest for free. So I'm buy one get one free. So
I think now
I don't
you're a
mind.
people's man, so this is the request of the people.
Come again, please.
I'm saying now you're a people's man, so this is a request from the people for you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I am not at all hesitant to sing a song. That's me. I did not do politics to get into politics. So you should be confident about and be rooted to your own self. I can't dance on stages. True, I wouldn't do that. But yes, singing, it's my form of meditation. सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, धीमी सी धड़कन को बढ़ने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है ये, पास आ जाए हम तुम हम तुम, सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, कहो ना प्यार है तुमसे प्यार है, सितारों की महफिल में गूंजेगा तराना, के होठों पे आया है दिल का फसाना, अरे दिल ने दिल को पुकारा, हो लो मैं आया, मिलने दोबारा मंजिल प्यार तुम्हारा, मैं हूँ सागर तुम हो किनारा, दिल वालों दिल मेरा सुनने को बेकरार है, कहो ना प्यार है, कहो ना प्यार है, चोरी चोरी चुपके चुपके पहला ना ऐसे धड़कता था, धड़कता था धड़कता था धड़कता था धड़कता था, ना कोई बेचैनी थी, ना तो ऐसे तड़पता था, तड़पता था तड़पता था तड़पता था तड़पता था, तुझे देखा हे तुझे देखा, दिल मचल गया, तेरा जादू चल गया, तेरा जादू चल गया.
Amazing, amazing.
We've all taken the oath. We've all taken the oath, including your father, to give much more than you're asked for. So I gave you a medley when you wanted a song.
So I think आप जितना अच्छा गाना गाते हैं उतना ही आप enjoy करते हैं गाते हुए, और वो transfer होता है, and we all enjoy it as well.
I still have hair, easy, so.
I was recently discussing with the last guest that was on my show, Adnan Samiji, and we were talking about auto-tune and about live concerts. So he was telling me that technology for sure has helped get a lot of people who could not sing to help them sing. But एक अलग जज्बा होता है जो लाइव परफॉर्मेंस करते हैं, they enjoy while doing it, and I think you're a live performer.
See, there are many famous singers today who are not even singers. Let's put it that way. You know, if today you have a gun, you're a shooter, you're a great shooter. You're doing more foreign tours than we do. Going for training, this that. So it's a great thing. But I still hold it against you that when I went to your house, I got the gun in my hand and you didn't let me shoot the bulbs that you have because I'm very good at it. I would have blown all of them, but you didn't let me do that. Your father didn't let me do that because he knew that I would prove that I'm a good shooter as well. So and he can't sing. I know that. So let me get this on you. So the thing is that where was I?
You were telling me about the auto tune and a lot
Yeah.
of singers.
See the investments. If you today use a gun which lets you, helps you hit on the bullseye, because today everyone wants to see better performance, the faster, higher, longer. That has become. There are a lot of shortcuts to it. Athletes and other. Other sports person get caught in doping and all of that. So
Yes.
those shortcuts did not exist during the time of JC Owens, long back in history
Yes.
in Olympics. It does all exist now. Now, uh, uh, if you got any such gadget on your gun to which would have helped you become a shooter, your dad would have not been very happy about it, or probably in most cases he would be very proud of the fact that he achieved what he did without the help of any such technology. So what Adnan says is absolutely correct. He's a friend of mine. We have worked together. I've sung his compositions twice, in fact, and it has reduced the indispensability of the singer, because we used to say कि सुर is ईश्वर, सुर जो है वो भगवान है, ईश्वर है. अभी आप कंप्यूटर के जरिए अपने आप को with melodines and antheres, you can actually draw a song. You can draw a song. So previously any famous singer may not have been a great singer, but every
Yeah.
famous singer was at least a singer. Today there are
Yeah.
many famous singers. Many famous singers. Adnan knows it. I know it. Everyone knows it. Many famous singers who are not even singers. They cannot sing a line to save their lives. But computer gives them, like, I would give you an example of Spice Girls. That came at
Yes.
a time when later on the producers said that there are many of those, there are quite a few. I think 3 or 4 of them out of that 5-girl band. Jerry Halliwell was a good singer, but others, there were a few who were not even singers, but it was a studio product. What you got?
Yes.
I just want to be your love, that song. It was a studio
Yeah.
product. But today, what you hear are studio products. There's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong in it.
Yes.
People, we used to get jealous of. You used to look at birds and feel some point of time, human beings saw birds fly and felt that we need to fly as well. So they invented aeroplanes. Today, the
Yes.
birds who are the original flyers, they get killed by aeroplanes, right? So
True.
today, a lot of great singers get killed by such pseudo singers who use softwares to enhance their music. And Adnan, I remember about Adnan. I was doing a world tour with Asha Bhosle, I think in 1998 or 9, and then she was talking about world's fastest pianist, and she said that Asha Bhosle ji, she said that Pancham da, yani ki R.D. Burman and Asha ji met a small guy in London years back, and now he's in Bombay, and he plays the piano faster than anyone else. So
Yeah.
after some time, Adnan Sami comes to Pancham Das. We were racing in R.D. Burman's sitting room, and actually Asha Bhosle was the mentor, and he comes in a roly-poly fat guy, and we were not looking at him. Oh my God, such a roly-poly! He's lost a lot of weight and looks very nice now. He comes in, and then a couple of musicians kind of said, okay, so you're world's fastest musician, play it in front of us. So that's the
Yeah.
first time Adnan we saw him playing, and he was really, really fast. And we
Yeah.
never knew that he was at that point of time. Asha ji said that she was making an album, but that was the time when he was composing. Kabhi to nazar milao, kabhi to kareeb aao. So that was the time when that album was being made. So that's how I know Adnan for such a long time, and he stayed very close to my house as well, just opposite to my house actually. I was in
Wow.
Orchid Tower and he was in Parasurampuriya.
So you
So
mentioned on
I just adore what the softwares can do in terms of making a singer flawless. But I also
yeah,
think that should not be used by youngsters, young aspiring musicians, including my daughter Sharmili, who's very much there. I can see
yes.
to camouflage their shortcomings. Rather, you should work hard. Once you're a great singer, you can still make it better. But if
True.
you're not even a singer, what's the point in getting famous if you can't sing a song without any music or sing it live? So that's what it
So
is.
it should not become the base of your skill. It should be used to magnify your skill.
True. Absolutely. Yes.
On many occasions, you mentioned that uh, your guru in politics is Baba Ramdev, and I admire him myself for his fitness, his entrepreneurial skills, and he also has six-pack abs. But what inspired
Who?
you about it? Baba Ramdev.
Oh no, no, I don't have a six-pack abs right now. I have a family pack. Don't worry. I it's to be very honest, I am not inspired to have a six-pack abs now. I know a few politicians. Your father is originally fit. He's a sports person, a world-class sports person. But for us, I play football regularly. I'm very proud that I can play for almost 2 hours constantly. My heart rate goes as high till maybe 157, 160. The last time I played, I can play for 2 hours, five aside, six aside. But I don't have six-pack abs. I'm not inspired to do it either. I just ensure that I don't have a protruding tummy. Otherwise, even there's too much to do. Taking out time to do six-pack probably is not. I don't know. There could be other ways of saying it, but I think that I can't concentrate when I'm in the gym for 1 hour or 1 hour 15 minutes. There are too many calls that coming. There are too many pending works that I feel that I could do. So no, I did all of that when I was in Bombay. I exercised with Satyajit Chaurasia, the guy who helped Amir Khan for the Gajini body, who works out with Hrithik Roshan. I worked with Sham Rahate, the guy who helped John Abraham a lot in his initial days.
Yeah.
But in Delhi, no, I neither have any of those high-profile trainers. I do have a gym, but only do weight training maybe twice or once a week, and the rest is all cardio.
You've had such a illustrious career where you've been a successful singer, you've done successful films, and then you went on to become a politician. What made you get into politics, which people say is a very thankless job?
Doesn't matter, there is a song which helped me a lot even when I was struggling as a singer. Uh, in the initial days, people say bad things about you. It takes a little bit of time for you to establish yourself. Till then, people are not very kind on you. They say whatever they want to say. They could call you clone. They could call you, whatever. You're not good, this, that. So it takes a little bit of time for everyone. You go home and sing. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में कहीं बीत ना जाए रहना कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना. So as long as the end of the day, at home,
Yeah.
I am very happy that I have given my best throughout the day. I have helped people in sense. I have done my job as an MP, as a minister, pushed myself to do. I am anyways what my daughter says. I'm a type A person or something. She can write more things about it. I don't pay any heed to that. Some type A or type B person. Type A means that you're an workaholic or you're addicted to work or something. My wife says the same actually, but if I do or my job properly, it does not hurt my conscience at all. If I do other things or if I think you have to earn free times for yourself. You have to earn those brownie points like green credit and carbon credit. You earn them,
Yes.
and then you
Yes.
use it one day to probably just play the guitar or sing for 2-3 hours, do some riyaz, and probably go to the gym or have a game of football. So you have to earn those. As long as you're very happy and sure that you've earned it, I think you should be able to do everything. You can paint your bike, you can ride it, you can go for a cinema, whatever. Lead a life which is normal. For me, the transition from music to politics, I kept it very simple. In music, people requested me to sing songs. It was serving the people and making them happy. Here,
Yeah.
then I was serving, say, Thai food. Now I'm serving. Now I'm serving khichdi. But Thai, when I gave them Thai food, a lot of people gave me a lot of thank yous and all of that. Now, as you say, it's a thankless job. So my job is to ensure that I am in a place where people needs to be like COVID. People need to be given, helped and given away things in charity. And you are part of that entire process. You drive the process. You make others donate and help the poor. So I really don't think it's a thankless job. It's just those trolls, on social media.
Yeah.
But uh, does it bother me? Yes, it does, because I don't want to be a thick-skinned guy. As they say, to be a politician, you need to be thick-skinned. I want to remain an artist inside, and I want it to hurt when it is meant to hurt. But trolls will have to hurt me with my permission. I don't give them the chance to hurt me without my permission. But sometimes when I read it, and politics happened to me on a flight. Baba Ramdev ji was sitting beside me. I heard him in 2014. I heard him reading. Yeah, I saw a paper on his hand in his hand, and he had some names written on it. So his secretary recognized me, introduced me to Swamiji, and then I could see him talking about good candidates, bad candidates, and all of that in 2014. So I asked him what it was. So he in return asked me what was BJP situation in Bengal. So I just felt that I was on flight. I just felt that there was more to that situation. Jil ke us par kuch kahani hai. I just felt there was something in that situation. As I said earlier, that every idea is a ray of light. We should not let it go. So that
Yeah.
was one moment. This moment mein kuch tha. I wouldn't call it sixth sense because I attribute them to my pet dogs. So I would say I had that seventh sense. I realized that there's something in it. So I told Ramdev ji that, in Bengal, yes, it is all left. It's all Mamata Banerjee Trinamool Congress. But if you give me a ticket, if you want me to fight, I will fight. And I'll definitely win one seat for BJP. It's a different thing that I was the only one to win for BJP in Bengal in 2014. So I take things the way it comes. And that's about it. I could not do politics when I was in music. I did not like doing politics when I was in music. I am probably the only singer, I can very confidently say that, whose duet songs have got Filmfare Awards. Hum Tum, my
Yeah.
song was sung. It's a duet between me and Alkaji, and I was still pulling her leg 3 days back that she was the one she got the best female singer award. I didn't get it. It's a duet song, and the same happened with the song with Shreya Ghoshal, Pherari Mon. Bengalis will know it. It was on #1 on Mirchi Bengal for almost 60 weeks. So
Yeah.
that song, she got the national award. I didn't get it, and it's a duet song again. So, so I couldn't do politics in music. I'm trying to bring some music into politics, which you could see in the last
So I'm
inauguration.
sure
So I'm happy with it.
Baba
Hmm?
Ramdev saw in you, the Prime Minister did as well, and the people of Asansol also gave you that love, and they re-elected you in these elections when you were back in the ministry. And how do you connect and interact with the people of Asansol in the times of Corona right now?
Well, you see, I had fixed my target very, very early, and I felt that the first priority should be giving away ration to the elderly people in every neighborhood, because you see there are a lot of children who go for their jobs, they leave their city and they go, and their elderly parents are left at home alone. Now, when they stay in houses, most houses don't have lifts, right? So elderly
Yes.
people staying in second floor, third floor, fourth floor, it was very hard for them in COVID situation during lockdown, when you did not, when your, you know, domestic help probably did not come to work, for those people to for themselves, you know, with, even if they had the money, they couldn't do it. So I had asked all my karyakartas in Asansol to make a
Yes.
to make a list of all those elderly people that they had in the neighborhood, and I'm very proud to say that we gave away almost, you know, almost till today, almost 14,500 bags of and not plastic bags, cotton,
Yeah.
jute bags, which they can use later on for going to the market. So that's no
True.
plastic is also was also maintained, and
Yes.
we gave away food in that, you know, grains, food grains, rice, aloo, and all of that. And then the second priority was people who did not have ration cards. You know, I
Yes.
started that in the beginning itself, and we managed to reach out to people. And I really want to thank my karyakartas, because I was stuck in Delhi and I did not want to go to. It is not wise for to be in the place, because, you know, once you're there, people flock to you. A lot of people
Yes.
come to you, they come close to you, and in the bargain, they infect each other. So the point was to stay where you are and not move. So I worked here in Delhi to get things done, but I couldn't reach because the lockdown suddenly came. But I managed to reach out to the entire area of Asansol. It's too less. 18, almost 20. There are almost 18 lakh voters, and
Yeah.
the number of people in that area is more than 25 lakhs. So
Yeah.
it's not. It's absolutely impossible to reach out to every one of them. But we did whatever we could. 14,000, 15,000, 16,000 bag is nothing. Is nothing. But
Yes.
still, it did reach out to the people who needed it at that hour.
So whenever you visit your constituency, I keep seeing news of you being heckled, and like you mentioned on many occasions that it's quite a normal thing there in West Bengal. So does your fitness help you in protecting yourself in such situations?
Well, I've ran and caught people who have heckled me. I don't expect. I don't want to make this, you know, chat. Don't want to make any political things. But I feel that the Bengal government, Mamata Banerjee is a cruel person. You know, to put it, you know, in a very simple terms, non-political terms, she's a cruel person. I feel that, you know, letting your supporters attack a minister or a politician from the opposition party, anyone in that matter, when you have your children, your little daughter, your teenage daughter sitting inside the car, when you're inside the car with your family, that time you have your supporters. You know, my car got broken 7 times in the last 3 years. No insurance company wants to, you know, insure my car now. One guy, one insurance agent comes home and brings his friend कि सर 2 बार तो हमने आपका कांच टूट गया, हमने कर दिया, इस बार आप इनसे करवा लीजिए, तो ये आपका 2 बार. So these are all true facts. So
Yeah.
it's a very cruel government there. They don't deliver for the people, and I have to keep on fighting. You see, and I don't believe in sending the guys in front and Netaji being at the back. So I like being in the forefront. I've got hit several times, but then I'm not scared of it. I'm really not scared of it. I think people are with us, and BJP will surely, you know, make a good government in 2021. So, last time during 2019, I made a song for elections, because I felt that it was very hot during the campaign period, and for the, you know, you are on a car when you're campaigning with the mic and all of that, but the karyakartas, party members, they actually have to walk beside the car. They have to run and do all of that and shout slogans and all of that. So
Yes.
I felt that was very, in that heat, it was excruciating. So I made a song. I went to Bombay for one day, sang the song. In fact, Sharmili sang the chorus with me. And that song has almost 15, 16 million views. And everywhere the campaigning happened, they just played the song, and loud DJs played the song. It's a dance number with all Trinamool Congresses and Mamata Banerjee's shortcomings in that. And people just, you know, the guys just could clap and just throw their hands and show some exuberance, and they did not have to shout slogans. So that helped them a lot.
Would have
It helped us
surely
a lot.
energized all the karyakartas and pushed them to not get tired and just enjoy the whole process.
Yes, my two-year-old daughter used to sing that punchline then. Sharmili did the chorus in the song. Hey Trinamularna, Arna, Arna, Itinumula, Arna, Arna, Arna. Don't want to make a political statement, but that is what the song was. Yes.
So you're also the Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Recently, a very unfortunate incident took
Yes.
place where a pregnant elephant was killed due to human cruelty, and many different theories are doing rounds. So what exactly happened?
See, I have, as you can see, my table right now is full of papers from that entire day yesterday. I am myself a animal lover. I have different kinds of dogs. You know that, my pets, birds, and all of that. So it is a very, very disturbing, heart wrenching thing that happened. There are several things that comes to the forefront. Firstly, I would request celebrities, NGOs, not to jump to the conclusion that the elephant was killed. Yes, it was killed, but was it killed intentionally by someone who playfully or intentionally or for whatever act? It is absolutely illegal, inhumanic, and a barbaric act to feed the elephant and pineapple with explosives in it. But was it someone who did that? Was there a miscreant who did that? That's one thing that we are trying to find, or whether as things from, that's what the practice that farmers do there to keep these animals away from their farmland and crops. Now
Yes.
there are two things. If that is a practice that has been happening for so many years, why wasn't it stopped? Because it's absolutely illegal. I am saying once again, it's absolutely illegal to do any kind of and there are severe penalties and punishments in place as per law for anyone who tries that. So one, we need to find out whether it was an intentionally done act, and two, if that is a tradition. There are so many traditions that been happening in all over the world for so many years now, in such cases. So why wasn't it attended to? Why didn't it stop by now? So even I spoke to the on a different thing, the board that the IPS officers who are, there's a animal cruelty control board, that bureau that we have, animal crime control board, and the additional DG, I spoke to her late in the night, and we have our officials and everyone on ground there, and there is no way this can be tolerated. And the fact that the elephant was moving around for 2 days without being attended, so whoever are the culprits are going to be severely punished. I can tell you that. I have taken it very personally, and I am going to any length to see that there are several ways now, several civilized way where you can scare a animal off from animal-human conflict exists. But there are several modern ways where you can, scare your animals away from farmland and cropland. But leaving a electrocuted wire where an animal can get caught and killed, using gunshots and all that, those are illegal, absolutely illegal. And we are coordinating with the government there also to see. And I've also requested NGOs that instead of doing this internet and Facebook, signing petitions and all of that, help us out.
Yes.
If you are doing good work outside, it is a mission mode that only the government only cannot achieve. What were the people doing there? Maybe 10 people felt that throwing fruits with explosives with it was the right way to deal with intruders in terms of animals. What were the rest of the village doing? Didn't they not understand that that was an inhumane thing to do? So we all have to be very cautious about it. And from our end, from our ministry, we are doing everything that it takes to stop this kind of incidents in the future. See, laws exist, but do they always stop the criminals from committing these crimes? No. And that's why the world is not a crimeless place today. So we are
So
going
today,
to
one of the
with a very iron
problems,
hand.
today one of the problems that we face in the society is people jumping to conclusions.
Yes.
And you being an animal lover yourself, I've had first-hand experience of that. What advice would you give to the youth for sensitizing themselves?
Well, I would say that, if like today, so many people are coming out and saying that, this is done here, that is done there, this is practiced in Kerala, that is practiced in Assam. so why does it take a poor elephant? The fact that the elephant was pregnant doesn't, it makes it a even bigger story or a even more deplorable act. But the animal did not have to die to bring everyone's attention. If the NGOs, a lot of them do great work, if they think that these are the practices that are happening, they should bring it to the ministry. I mean, as I said, what was the entire, you can blame, obviously, that they are going to be show cause, investigation is being done, but what was the entire village doing? If this is a practice, as we are hearing from media also, that that's a practice that goes around. I have heard other people say as well that these kind of practices go around in Kerala and different parts of the country. I am also aware of such things. We have had in the Project Elephant, we have had two very meetings where we were dealing with elephant corridors in Assam, where trains go and hit them and elephants die. So how could we deal with those things? We are having continuous discussions, so the NGOs can actually come and help us or write to us and pinpoint areas where such kind of practices, primitive practices are done. So don't jump into the conclusions. Don't write a hate tweet or a hate Facebook. Condemn the act. Condemn the act with the strictest of voice. But don't get into this cliche thing of condemning the government or condemning the or jumping the gun and saying that someone actually fed that to the elephant and killed it. So we are not very sure about it. We are searching for a video where that may have got captured if someone intentionally fed that. And I believe me, Manav, the strictest of punishment exists, provisions exist, and they are going to be given that. But don't get into rumor mongering and incite anger in the already disturbed society with COVID and everything else. That's my appeal to people. Help the government act towards that calamity, and don't just create furor without knowing what the real actual fact is, which we are trying to investigate and find out.
I think you've put across a very balanced point, and I think everyone watching and everyone that will be watching later should really take this into consideration and work with the government, work for the animals, and this will help in taking positive steps to make better rules for the animals. And sir, I would love to talk to you for hours, but Instagram only allows 59 minutes of conversation. So before we end this conversation, I think the best note to end this live would be on the lovely message that you had for Corona. आपने हम तुम के गाने में एक बहुत ही beautiful तरीके से बंगाली में आपने एक कोरोना का मैसेज दिया था. So I think it would be lovely if you can give that message to all the people.
Well, in Hum Tum, I have already sung that. In Hum Tum, it talks about people coming closer, right? I'm saying people. I'm leaving it to that. People coming closer and getting, and in love, in romance. It's out of the syllabus of many of people, and many of the people who are right here in the chat right now. But so I would say during these times, don't get into Hum Tum, or the advice is सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, पास आ जाए हम तो पास आ जाए, नहीं चाहिए. Don't do all of that. It's the time for social distancing and practicing it. So to hell with Hum Tum, to hell with Babu Supriyo's song, just leave it alone. Rather, practice the song of our Gurudev. मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की में एक चांद का टुकड़ा रहता है. मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की में एक चांद का टुकड़ा रहता है. अफसोस ये है कि वो हमसे कुछ उखड़ा रहता है. मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की में एक चांद का टुकड़ा रहता है. So let that lady stay in the सामने वाली खिड़की में. Maintain that social distancing. Sing the song. As you can see the film Padhosan and see how it was done by Kishore Kumar and Mahmood ji. And then once the social distancing norms get easier and we kind of win the fight against COVID, then you can go and do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to get into that. But for now, shift from Hum Tum to Mere Samne Wali Khidki Mein. That's what I'm going to say. And as I end, Manav, I really want to thank you. Your smiling face and nice questions, the research that you have done on whatever good or bad things that I have done, it's absolutely commendable. I'm really I am loving it without having the high calorie burger. I'm saying it. I really loved it, and I would just tell all the youngsters that take life as a challenge to see if you luck, destiny, God, whatever you believe in. You're an atheist, you're agnostic, you're a you're a pessimistic person, you are a believer, whatever it is. Take life as a experiment to see whether these lines said by famous people are true or not. Gautam Buddha said that mind is everything. You become what you think you can become. In Paul Coelho in The Alchemist said that, or people say that when you really want something, the universe conspires in your favor. As of
Yes.
now, with my experience, I can tell you that 90% of that is true. So you need to put in your best and see if these two lines are true or not. And these are two philosophical lines. But even if you go to the biggest of commercial giants in the dog eat dog world, even they say the same. Nike
Yes.
says just do it, and Adidas says impossible is nothing. So Joe, go with these four lines, keep them on your motivational board, and enjoy life, enjoy the journey, because reaching the goal will always happen if you enjoy the journey that takes you there.
Thank you for taking out
Right?
the time, sir, and it was a